Hey everybody, it's Corey from theshapewithin.com, where I show you how to build permanent healthy habits, lose weight, and ultimately get in the best shape of your life. So have you ever messed up on your diet, not just because of cravings, but because of social pressure? There are a lot of different social situations that you'll have to go through when you're trying to lose weight that will put a lot of pressure on you to eat and drink things that you really don't want to eat and drink. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how you can stay strong in these situations while still being polite. So in some of these situations, let's be honest, it's just us that's putting the pressure on ourselves. There are a lot of situations where other people directly pressure us to eat and drink things that we don't want to, and I'll talk about that too. But there are a lot of situations where we feel the pressure to eat and drink things, unhealthy things, just because of the nature of the situation. An example of this can be birthdays. Everybody feels like they just have to have a piece of cake on somebody's birthday, even if they're not craving the cake, even if they're doing really well with avoiding sweets and eating healthy and things like that. There's just a lot of people who feel that they'll be disrespectful by not having a piece of cake. And although that may be true on some level, in that other people might feel a little bit disrespected if you don't have cake, when it really comes down to it, it's not disrespectful for you to say no to eating an unhealthy thing. There should never be any occasion that's so special that you feel like you have to eat something unhealthy, or that you feel like you have to apologize for not eating something unhealthy. And there's always going to be a different special occasion coming around the corner, whether it's every week or a couple of times per month. And so you can't depend on coming upon some long period of time in your life where there's just not going to be any special occasions so that you can finally lose weight. They're always going to be happening, and so you have to learn how to get through these situations gracefully so that you can stay on track with your weight loss journey. Now, I'm not telling you that you can't indulge and that you have to be a perfect healthy eater, but what I am telling you is that you shouldn't let other people control your diet. So some other type of situations that you might find yourself in where you'll feel pressure to eat and drink unhealthy things even if other people aren't directly telling you to or pressuring you to, are things like getting lunch invites, especially from your boss. A lot of people feel like every time their boss asks them to go to lunch, that they just absolutely have to do so for one reason or another. Not necessarily that you're worried that you'll get fired, but you're worried that you'll lose an in with the boss or something like that. And so you'll go out to eat, even though you're trying to eat healthy, and you'll order something just to be polite and just to look normal in front of the boss or in front of your fellow co-workers. And when it comes down to it, you have to consider whether it's actually worth it for you to do something like that. And honestly, if you don't want the food and if you don't want to go out to eat, and the only motivation that you have to go out and eat is because of the social pressure, it really isn't worth it, because when it comes down to it, people might take a little bit of a offense in the first couple of minutes if they invite you to lunch and you say no, but it's just going to wear off a couple of minutes later. Everybody's going to be just fine. And if people come to know that you're a person who will say no to lunch invites and you'll stick to your healthy diet, then they'll just begin to learn that about you, and they'll know that it's not something to get offended about if you say no over and over again. So don't be afraid to say no to lunch invites that you don't want to go to, even if it's coming from somebody like your boss. Now, I get that it's not always just as easy as saying no. Sometimes people don't even ask you if you want something during these occasions. They'll just put it in your hand. They'll cut you a piece of cake and they'll put it in your hand without even asking, and without even thinking about it, you'll reach out and grab it because they were basically going to drop it if you didn't grab it anyways. The same thing will happen with toasts. They pour all of the glasses and they pass them around, and somebody shoves one in your chest and they don't even ask you if you want it. And again, I know that's normal, but even when the glass is in your hand, you still have the choice to say, I'd rather drink water, pass on the glass to the next person. And if somebody is really pressuring you and they say, no, you have to, you can pour it out right in front of them and say, I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. Now, obviously, that's a little bit extreme, but my point is that you can always say no, and that you need to make it clear to people that your answer is absolutely no. I've had to say no in so many different ways to people so that they can finally understand that I'm not being super polite, that I don't actually want it, and that I'm absolutely going to keep saying no. And so rather than having people keep offering over and over again, what I've done in the past is prepare a little bit of a phrase that's polite but firm that I can say when people offer me something and I want to refuse it politely. And basically it goes something like, thank you, it looks really, really good, but I'm on a really strict diet and I'm determined to stick to it. But thank you, it looks awesome. Very tempted. And usually with something like that, it explains everything that people need to know, and it prevents any further questioning, and it just lets you off the hook. But some people are very persistent, and sometimes being absolutely polite doesn't work, and so you have to be able to be firm when you need to be. And so in certain situations, I've had to just look people in the face and say, I want you to stop asking, or this is my final answer. I'm just going to keep saying no. Here's another situation that you will inevitably face if you're losing weight for multiple months. And this is the special dish situation. Everybody has a special dish, and everybody absolutely has to try the special dish. Even you, right? So whether it's family or friends or people you don't know, people you work with, eventually somebody's going to bring in some special dessert or special dish that their great grandpa taught them how to make, and they're just going to make it very clear that everybody absolutely has to try it and has to love it, and if you don't, that you're dead to them. And this is another situation that no, you actually don't have to try somebody's food if you really don't want to. Now, again, I'm not telling you to be perfect. If you want to have a bite, have a bite. If you want to have a cheat day and indulge, absolutely do so. But if you're doing well on your diet and somebody brings something in that you really don't want to eat and you're thinking, wow, I'm really doing well, I just want to keep this momentum going and stay on track, I really don't even want to mess with that, you do not have to. Again, just prepare a really polite phrase that you can tell people. Tell them that you're on a strict diet and that you're tempted, it looks great, and that you don't want to. And if people can't accept that, then it's really not polite of them not to accept that, and you shouldn't really have to worry about their feelings after that, if that's the thing that's going on. Okay, so now let's talk about the people who directly pressure you to eat and drink unhealthy things. And these people come in a couple different categories as well. The categories being people who are deliberately trying to sabotage your diet, and those who just really don't know any better, or just really aren't thinking about your success and aren't directly trying to sabotage you. And you might be surprised at what type of people fit into each of these categories. Sometimes it's your family and friends that are directly trying to sabotage you, and sometimes it's not. So let's first talk about people who really aren't trying to cause you any harm, and they really do want you to succeed, but they just really don't have the understanding that they need to stop offering you unhealthy food. They don't understand how important it is that you stay on track. This happens a lot with people that you don't know very well, or even family and friends who you haven't talked with a lot about your journey and what you're trying to achieve. And so it's really a very innocent thing that they're trying to do. Usually they're trying to just get you to have fun and be a part of the party, or maybe they just feel a little bit impolite that you haven't eaten or drank anything yet that everybody else has. And so in these situations, again, it's just really important to communicate to people how important it is to you, and exactly what it is that you're trying to do. That way they'll just kind of leave you alone about it, and they won't feel like they're being impolite by not offering you things, and you won't feel impolite by refusing things. So last but not least, let's talk about the people who deliberately try to sabotage your diet and prevent you from reaching your goals. So along your journey, you're going to run into a lot of people who actually try to do things to mess you up and throw you off your game. And a lot of times it could be because they're jealous of you, whether they're directly trying to mess you up or whether they're doing it subconsciously. It does happen quite a bit. And so you have to know how to either deal with these people or just not take them seriously in the first place. So these are the type of people that offer you that piece of cake over and over and over again, or pizza or soda, and they will not take no for an answer. Even after you've said no repeatedly, you've shown them that you're actually getting kind of frustrated that they keep asking, and you've told them exactly why it's so important for you to not have that piece of cake in this very moment. Those type of people that just keep pressuring you, and they say things like, oh, come on, it's just one piece. They have all kinds of different little phrases that they say to make you feel guilty and feel like you need to cave in to do exactly what they want you to do, and to be a part of the misery that loves company, being that they wish that they could stay on track like you, and they wish they were getting the type of results that you're getting. And so stay strong when you're in these types of situations. And again, just tell people no, and if they make you say no over and over again, either learn how to be very firm, or sometimes you might just have to walk away or tell them to leave you alone. I've had to say a couple of times, will you please just leave me alone? You're actually being really annoying, and if you keep asking me, I'm just going to keep getting more frustrated. I already am, so please stop. So it's absolutely okay to mess up on your diet sometimes, but don't let it be because somebody made some snide comment to you, or because you got invited to some special occasion that you weren't expecting, and you felt like it would be disrespectful to not indulge in all of the things that everybody else was. When it comes down to it, you have to do whatever it takes to keep making healthy decisions and to stay on track, even if that means learning to be a little bit more firm sometimes, or just taking that extra bit of time to communicate with people as to why you're doing what you're doing and why you're being so stubborn about only eating healthy foods and refusing the unhealthy things that other people are offering you.